What's going
Yep.
on, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Save the date. I'm one of your
Reacting.
hosts. Save the date react. I'm one of your hosts, Heath.
What's good, everybody? Is Jamie.
And as always, a little household business. We are available at Save the Date Now, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. TikTok is having some rich conversations right now. We've been asking questions about how soon when you're dating before you go on a trip.
Before you get
People
flew out.
Yeah, flew out or flown out or flying them out. We've just been having some deep conversations and people are being really responsive and vulnerable with us. And to anyone who's listening, we thank you for being there. And if you haven't been there, you can swing by, check it out, and just, see what we're talking about. What we're trying to do, especially with our TikTok, is just create a space for people to be real about where they're at, to so that we do have hope in this dating world. Some people call it a fiasco. But that we really are very focused on trying to move the needle forward with what our brand anchor is: togetherness.
Just togetherness. Yeah.
Togetherness. Yeah, let's get right into it. So Save the Date React. We got a video for you guys, first video, and this is a really big part of Jay and I's work. We're going to be doing some interesting things in the coming months around this concept of, we're calling it now the boy and the man, but really wanted to talk to you guys about a version of sexuality in the body from our perspective. I'll let him cue it up.
Let's see what we got. Boom.
The average black man in a pornographic film, 6 feet tall, rippling muscles, minimum 9 inch. The average white man in a pornographic film looks like the person sitting next to you, right? Please feel free to use that example the next time someone questions white privilege.
Wow.
And you were, yeah.
Yeah. This joke was, it wasn't a ha 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 ha. And you're laughing for 15
Definitely
minutes.
made you think, though.
But it made me think. And one of the things that it made me think about was black sexuality, black male sexuality, and black male bodies, and the ubiquity of pornography and how it's shaping how men perceive themselves. I think Dr. Schwartz in the book Penis talks about how many men come to his office as urologists trying to be like, yo, my joint ain't up to par. It ain't working.
I need the Mac 11.
Yes, I got 8 Mac 11s, yeah. And they come in struggling with their size and struggling with who they are as men because of what they're watching, this theater called pornography. And as black men in particular, he's right, there is a certain image that you see projected. You just can't be no whack black dude, nerdy black dude. I mean, unless you got like a gimmick or a hook. I didn't see the joint Mr. 18 inches, 18-inch dong.
Or you're the producer or director or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Where you could just write yourself into the script with your little scrawny chest and body. Other than that, you got to be coming in, jacked up muscles, got the Timbs on, got the hat on backwards, a Kango. You got to be able to bring business at that elite level.
Third leg therapy.
Yeah.
All of that going on.
And I think there's so many black men who don't measure up to that, either in size of their member, in the look and feel. Maybe they got the member, but they 5'9", and, they got a little pooch for their stomach. Well, you ain't making the grade. You got to have all of the accoutrement, right? You got to have all of the features that he mentioned. And it makes me think about how we're interpreting black male health and black male bodies and its impact on black men's mental health. Who are you if you're not this? If you don't check off these boxes, what do you really bring to the table?
Yeah.
What are you really capable of? In fact, is this the only lane for you to be successful in? So if you're over 6 feet, you got the rippling muscles and you got the dong to match, the hammer, your gifts will make room for you.
Yeah. You can get in some rooms.
Yeah, you can get into some swingers rooms with some well-connected people who may want to do a favor, too, for you. Some people who, want to write you some checks.
For your participation.
Oh, absolutely. I remember, my uncle knew a guy, I'm not going to say his name because he's still alive, and he's dating, even in his elder years, somewhat famous. But back in the 50s and 60s, apparently, 70s too, he was known to be sleeping with a lot of white starlets on the low, to the point that he apparently had $300,000 saved.
Wait. Just from the money he acquired from sleeping with them?
Writing checks
lucrative business there.
Helping out. He's an artist. He's an artist by skill and trade, but yeah.
We see the paintbrush is moving.
Yeah. So he's known. He was
Yeah.
known back then.
You said
And
this was 50s, 60s?
low 70s, yeah.
Okay.
And you know, he was known for moving a certain way. And for some men, that's the life. For some black men, that is a life that's projected for of success because other arenas will be cut off to you. I remember reading back in '03 when I was in my first grad program where they had done some analysis of black men's managerial positions
Mm.
and white men's managerial positions. And black men had 90% of the managerial positions in social work agencies. White men had 90% of the managerial positions in finance. You know, the mid-level or early level manager positions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that data to provide anybody right now. I have to go look for it and scouring the internet for it. But that was really just impactful for me to see because some people would argue, is that done on purpose? Is that done by design? And if you are this stallion who can bring it in the bedroom or at least have the dong that presents like you can, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what your actual motion is. Your motion may be different than your presentation, but at least you have the presentation. You're getting indoors. You're meeting and greeting people. You're glad handing. If you come in like, Steve Urkel, yeah, I'm really smart. I'm captain of of the chess team. And I don't know now if this is internal to us as black folks. If we even say, all right, man, get out of here. But here comes Stefan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Change the whole vibe in the room.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, well,
Yeah, no,
we doing
legit.
something now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it that we really do prize these black stallions to the point that we are now ignoring other presentations of the black men's bodies that are just as equally valid and a part of the human experience,
Yeah.
the black experience?
I mean, it kind of sounds like, in a way, black men can't own their sexuality fully.
Mm-hmm.
Like, other people's ideas about what it is, what comprises their sexuality, their lover profile, all of those things, it seems like the out group gets to narrate everything about the in group that we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I was telling you earlier, the first time I heard about choking, I was asked by a woman to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought about spitting in a girl's mouth. I was asked by a woman to do it. So it was like a lot of the things that I have heard men talk about, or at least been put on men as, this is something that exhibits their misogyny and their patriarchy. They just want to dominate. They want to demean. A lot of that activity was brought to me and introduced by women. And it's like when I went through my own process of discovery, exploration, a lot of the stuff that I was discovering that I liked, while some people were calling it, misogynistic and controlling and domineering, that out group was the one who introduced me to it. And a lot of it was just like, how come I don't feel comfortable enough to just own this, like it, and just be cool with it? But I think about a lot of the conditioning that I've heard growing up, like, our sexuality is just couched in misogyny, is couched in this kind of innate nature to want to demean and to want to be malicious in a way. I don't know. What do you think about that?
It's funny you're saying this. Right now, I'm reading Andrea Dworkin, A Feminist as a Revolutionary by Martin Duberman, which is about the very famous, uh, uh, now deceased feminist, Andrea Dworkin. And she was the first person to really write about the industrialization and exploitation of pornography. In fact, she's so early, she published that book in 1981 when we were babies.
Mm-hmm.
And she's known as the first major critic of pornography. There was a group of women, she broke away, even when she joined them in like the late 70s, she broke away to really create her own force and critique and criticism of pornography and how it demeans women. It is exploitation, as you mentioned. It teaches violence against women. And I think about that documentary that came out almost 10 years ago, produced by Rashida Jones, that really dealt with the rising trends of facial abuse, that version of pornography. Because as we know, pornography is like the long tail of the internet. It has its own niches and
For everything.
genres and
Yeah.
interests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But to deal with facial abuse and the rise of facial abuse and what is being said to women while they're having coitus and what's being said while they're giving head and vomiting on a phallus and now eat your own vomit. And
Yeah.
you ain't
2 girls, 1 cup type stuff. It's like,
yeah. So this is the theater that she was critiquing because pornography is theater.
It's theater. Yeah.
And so she's like, why are you essentially, I don't know if I have to still read the book. I'm making my way through the biography right now, but I've known her for this work and I wanted to read this work because of now the rising criticisms and the 3 alarm bell ringing about what pornography is doing to not only our society from a sex point, but as me and you talk about outrage porn. So we have developed a pornified imagination that is centered on a particular type of control and violence that we're accustomed to either through the body around sex and coitus or through now outrage and rhetoric and ideologies and the communication of ideologies, going back to our conversation about can you have violent communication, nonviolent communication. I do think, go back to your original question, I do think that's there. I do wonder, though, how these ideas are being disseminated and where they're being generated. So to what you're saying, is a young boy who's now, because we do know this from data, there's on the average age, boys are now being exposed to pornography is 8 years old, some as young as 6. Does that 8-year-old boy really come to the table with a strong sense of domination and control and a penchant for violence against the woman in a sexual scenario? They're just exploring and discovering.
Yeah.
But that feedback you're being fed. Go back to our point now about the black sexuality. I never thought about rippling abs until I saw a bunch of dudes with 9-inch hogs with rippling abs getting all the broads.
In
And
porn,
now
yeah.
we're getting behind the scene lifestyle. Now porn stars, what we didn't have as kids is like, I knew Mr. Marcus, I knew Shawn Michaels, but they were in these niche communities. And maybe you got an interview here and there in Blacktail or an interview they got lucky in Playboy. Now you can pull back the curtain and do you see a dude's whole lifestyle? He's making millions of dollars a year. He's talking about, oh yeah, I jumped from this content company to that content company.
Got their own podcast.
Got their own podcast.
Yep.
And so they're really talking about their life, their lifestyle, and how they see the world. And now I'm not only seeing a dude who can quote unquote beat it up on camera, but he's telling you, yo, I didn't blaze a couple of actresses. I didn't, I'm under NDA. I can't tell y'all who it is, but let me tell y'all some of them joints you've been watching. And now to that young man, not only do you get to have sex on camera and get paid for it, you get to become a higher level celebrity among gods, meaning the celebrity pantheon, Kevin Hart's and Tiffany Haddish and whoever else you want, you know what I mean? They're messing with you. Now they may not mess with you publicly, but when you're in the same rooms partying, the same DJs going on, and someone wants to take you upstairs and see what that hog is about, you can get that.
Yeah.
And so I think the lifestyle now is that much more intriguing and inviting. And so now to go back to our original argument about black male sexuality and the black body, black men's bodies, now I'm motivated to look like this, become like this, live this lifestyle. I'm no longer thinking about my calling, what I desire, what makes sense to me. Now I'm going to try to get an underground prescription to Cialis. I'm going to get the penis fillers, Blue Chews, Hims,
all of that.
I'm going to get the penis fillers, either the fat transfer or the, I forgot the Botox version. I'm going to get the long jack and all the other. I fill in the blank because I just want people to know this is who I am.
Yeah.
But did that young boy really have an opportunity to develop his own mind and his own spirit in community as human beings have done for millennia?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, especially around SEX, because like we're saying, a lot of what young kids are exposed to, obviously they're getting exposed to about somebody older. They're telling you what you're supposed to do. You very rarely get the chance to like explore and discover. And even if you do come to some kind of understanding or realization or acknowledgement about what you're doing, now all of the conditioning that you had is playing in that internal conversation in your head. So it's like, okay, yeah, you might actually like to go to these parties and be with all these women, and but you feel ashamed of it because somebody told you enjoying, these relations with all of these people is wrong. You're not supposed to just go out and enjoy sex like that. Like it's wrong for you to, be greedy or to, you know what I mean? But this person may have just had a life where maybe they were a square when they were younger. You know what I mean? Maybe they didn't get a chance to interact with a lot of girls growing up, but ugly duckling syndrome, they got over that. Now they're a swan and, wings have spread and they're able to talk to women in a certain way. And it's like, they're able to get with all of these women, but people are telling them they're wrong for it. In the same way, I mean, it's coming to my mind now, in the same way we saw the same kind of backlash toward Meg like people have so much to say about her lifestyle, but it's like, it's her. It's her lifestyle. Let her live her life. If we need to come off the critiques and criticism of other people when they get to own their sexuality and explore, we got to be able to
Mm-mm.
do the same for ourselves.
For sure. And this is me being vulnerable now. When I think about what that gentleman said, the comedian, in that stand-up, those three markers, right? 6 feet,
Rippling abs.
rippling abs, and the dong.
Hmm.
I know myself, I've been caught up in that.
I'm pretty sure all of us have.
Yeah, right, because you see either through media, historical overlay with stories from people you know about the role of the black male body in slavery, historically in this country, the buck who was going around impregnating women and
The breeder.
the breeder.
Yeah.
And also in the ways, like I said, these type of dudes get access to places that maybe the intellectual dude probably can't, get in. The guy who's coming in quoting Martin Duberman and his work on the Stonewall riots, and coming in quoting Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston. It's like, all right, you know what, Raheem, thanks a lot, but don't call us, we'll call you. Said, but Marquise, come on into the back. My wife's waiting for you. She's been waiting for you, Marquise. And I've heard stories like that, right? The black dude picked up, and then we'll pay you X amount of money. Just put a little work on my wife. My boy told me he knew a dude in Atlanta. This is years ago when I was in Atlanta going to college. And he said, yo, a dude came in the grocery store, was like, yo, boy, I need you to come home. Whole arrangement was blazing the wife. And what he would do is he'd have the black dude blaze his wife to she's about the point at which she's orgasming. He'd be like, all right, pull away now.
Get in.
Yeah.
No, she lost that orgasm right away. How you gonna try to warm up the slot machine so somebody else can hit the jackpot? Like, it don't work that way, fam. It doesn't work that way.
But this is what I'm saying. You're getting paid for that. You're getting paid for being the bull. And you see that term used all throughout porn search terms and porn tags in the video. The bulls coming in, the black bulls. You wanted the black bulls, fill in the blank. And when you see, again, the access and you see who you get to be around, we don't see enough of Neil deGrasse Tyson with his doughy body. And shout out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm not being pejorative or angry or even insulting to him, but he's, not a paragon of fitness. I mean, he's a high school wrestler and well accomplished, but we don't see more of that. It's just like, yo, listen, this is just who I am, but I'm brilliant. I'm an astrophysicist or someone who's an astrobiologist. I know a dude who had a PhD from Harvard, black guy, in quantum chemistry. Regular black dude, quantum chemistry, not quantum physics.
How many of them walking around?
Chemistry. But there are more than what we think. It's just, do you want to have his lifestyle? He's a 5 foot, maybe 5'8", 5'7" black dude, unassuming, blends in with the black nerd crowd.
I mean, I've never heard anybody say, man, I wish I was 5'7", 5'8". I mean,
this is what I'm saying.
Maybe a Kevin Hart or somebody that short saying it, but yeah, no.
But, the guy I'm talking about is a well-known professor, has these accolades, and are you looking at him, or are you looking at, we can go through the names of some of the top hitters right now in porn. I remember your guy.
See, I've been off of professional porn for so long.
No, I'm just out. I'm coming off of.
I might know some dudes from the 90s, but
yeah, but this dude Adam 22 was talking about this. He was like, he was on the Vlad TV being interviewed. He was like, he said, if you look at the top performers in porn right now, 80% are black guys. Because him and his girl did like a.
I remember that.
Yeah, reality show.
With a former NFL player.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That's really important to look at. That's what's getting the press and the media. Neil deGrasse Tyson's doing well for himself, at least on paper, as we understand it. So is homeboy who got a PhD in quantum chemistry. So is, I said Ronald Fry, I was looking at him today, right? He's a child prodigy, economics, Harvard, me mispronouncing his name. But these are the things that we could be advertising, but you're just an everyday black dude. You're just an everyday black dude. You're not, somebody who's necessarily, being invited into the house. Roland Fryer, excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like how you said with, man, I just lost my train of thought. I'm going to have to clip that up.
Yeah. Sorry. But with Roland Fryer, or I was just talking about porn professionals who are black.
Well, I was going to say, it's kind of like, the difference that we see with a lot of the women that we know, you know what I mean? Like how you've talked about before, we know a lot of dynamic women who've done some great things in their career, but you don't hear about them stories. You hear about Mia Khalifa though?
Yes, yes. No, but you're right. I
Yeah.
mean, you've talked about this
Mhm.
idea of dudes will crave the vixen. They're not going to crave the woman who's a stabilizing force.
Yeah.
A woman who is best for them,
Long term.
brings long term, brings out the best in them professionally, theologically, ritually, in all ways
Yeah.
and comprehensively. But you'll go after the vixen because we're not really hearing about the quote unquote average plain Jane, right? I'm putting air quotes there. You hear about those who are bringing that vixen energy, high octane,
That hot
banging
top
body,
energy.
that hot top energy.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that's getting rings out here.
yo,
That's getting
hot top is
that's
getting,
getting
I
girls
mean,
taking to David Yerman and Van Cleef and
Gucci and Prada.
hey, getting
Yo,
homes bought for them.
I mean, I just saw, you see there's a viral video going around about apparently a leaked text message between an older sister and a younger
But
sister.
yes, how to get
And
a
one of the
NFL
things she
star.
said in that, I mean, one of the things that got me was she was like, you got to bring him away from, because he said he'll most likely cheat with a black woman. And
If
you
they're
got to,
like us, it's even
if they're
more
like,
dangerous.
yes, because she knows how to play the game. And I was like, and I told my friend, I said, you see how this is a weaponization against black women. They know what they're doing, assuming this is true. There's a program this woman has against black women. That was the first thing I noted. The second thing I noted was say yes to everything in the bedroom, throw it down in the bedroom, you know, that throat game, this, that, right? So this is what's getting popular, not the woman who says, hey, listen, I don't even know what hot top is, but I'm willing to grow with you in the bedroom if we're willing to grow together. And maybe it's going to be bland and awkward at first, but you know, I'm willing to work on it. Just like maybe it's bland and awkward for some things that I need from you.
Right.
But we'll grow together. Ain't no one trying to hear that. They trying to be in the Lamborghini
Right now. Yesterday, actually.
on the Autobahn in Germany with the driving
Yeah.
gloves,
Legit.
100 miles, you know, hour.
Ocean's 11 Montenegro style. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just,
they're not trying to deal with any, you know, well, I'll get to know you and you'll get to know me and together we'll, no.
Damn, bro, it's so crazy how we've really lost the essence of process. I mean, obviously we've been talking about the McDonaldization and the instant gratification era that we live. We've been talking about that for a while. But like, it's really crazy how we have abandoned process. Like you're talking about, there are women out here, potential partners out here who are going to the opposite sex. I'm willing to work with you. Hey, you don't have to have the 6 figures and be 6 feet and do all that. I'm
6
willing to work
inches
with you.
yeah.
You don't have to be the vixen in the bedroom. I'm willing to work with you. But people are overlooking those options for the one that's just going to put out right away, or the one that's just going to fly me out right away, or the one that's just going to pay for everything right away. I mean, I would assume or presume that it's clear that those things never last, but we just continually seeing examples of people getting in and out of these relationships, It's like, I don't know. Maybe this is just a new way to date. It's just an in and out thing. And we use each other for what we want at a time and then move X to the next.
I think that's a big part of it, but I think many people aren't called to it. I've told you before that I believe there are a segment of the population, people who can date, hook up, and move on. There's a lot of people who say they can do that, but they ain't built like that.
Yeah, no.
Their constitution does not allow that.
They might be able to do it with a person here or there, but that can't be their MO on a regular.
That person is not, I agree. That person is not doing that like that's their job. There's some people that is their job, and then turn around, do it for 10 years and get married in the 11th year and be fine. A lot of people are going to be caught up, messed up, dragged down, in the mud, crying, tears. And I'm talking about men and women and men. This ain't the gender thing. A lot of people think they can roll that dice and be stone cold. It's not in you. And you're right, we've lost process because I believe we're chasing a status or a designation, not a calling or an opportunity to resonate or connect with someone else.
Yeah, to build something substantive.
Yeah, so if we're all watching pornography, which the majority of us are or have, and you can't throw it down like the way I'm seeing on the screen, then you know what?
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
That's Stephen A.
Well, you know, yeah.
Why are you here? Yeah.
I care about you. I can help. I can serve. I can elevate. I can listen. Like I said, why are you here? That's what's going to come back. Not seeing the value of that person's love, the value of that person's patience, the value of that person's calm to elevate and keep your mental health status in the green. You're not going to see that
Yeah, no.
because you are addicted to and attracted to what you're seeing via your screen. And now the theater has become your life.
Mm-hmm.
The theater of pornography has become your life. And I think men are going through this too, to bring it back to how we were opening this conversation, where the theater of that presentation of blackness through the lens and eyes of directors, some may be black, some may be white, but nevertheless, this caricature of black male bodies and black male sexuality has taken a life of its own.
Yeah, because we know it's for the audience ultimately.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it's for the
And
audience.
there's an audience clamoring for that type of stuff. Yeah.
That's why there's a whole show called Black Ambush.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, this is.
It's a show?
I mean, it's a pornography.
Oh, I was about to say, what network that's on? What is that about?
So this is.
Well, I was just going to say, like, what's the ambush? They coming out and like ambushing.
No. It's just, I mean, you know, it's called Black Ambush. It's just white girls who are getting
makes
right
sense.
by certain black bodies.
Yes, having their units.
Yeah, rearranged.
Ambushed.
Yeah, rearranged.
Having their units ambushed. I got it. Okay.
So this is real now.
Yeah.
And we are aspiring to that because it's ubiquitous. And like I said, it's coming from a select group of individuals who now are projecting that character or that caricature. And you see that character and say, I want that. I had a cousin who was a fantastic bodybuilder, and he told me something in the 90s, mid 90s. He was still doing it and still working out pretty intensely. He said, you know, I had chased the bodybuilding image because I had all these magazines until I realized a lot of people in these magazines were on roids. And they were doing things with enhancements and help that I did not want to participate in. And now we turn, bodybuilding.com, not last year, I think 2024, every other month, if you follow bodybuilding.com on Instagram, was like, so-and-so's passed away, want to offer our condolences. So-and-so's, I mean, the people in their late 20s, people in their 30s, people in their 40s.
Like flies from using that stuff.
Yeah, because some people's bodies can tolerate those type of enhancements.
Yeah.
Maybe not for long term. I wasn't going to live into the 90s because of it, but I could at least make it to my 60s or 70s. Kind of like Hogan did.
Mm-hmm.
He made at least
or Lee
almost
Haney
70.
or somebody like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. But some of y'all's bodies aren't built for it. You do it, and your body says, oh, no. He tries to take some of the weight and it says, hey, listen, man, I ain't got it.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. You're chasing after an image that is being propped up by drug usage that you are not either equipped to either handle, or you're not even really fully aware of what you need to do to get there. So you're chasing this image. Maybe you're in the gym and I got to stay here 6 hours. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm eating. And it's no matter what you do, you're not going to get there. Same thing, I believe, with the black, male sexuality and black body, where you're chasing an image, you're chasing something, and you're never going to get there. Some guys will. Because some guys have the complexion for the protection.
Yeah.
You got the body for the erection. So come on in. Some of us though ain't got it. Like
and never will.
And never will.
And guys, just a sidebar real quick. Please be honest with yourself when you're having these internal conversations about what you have and how you're showing up as a lover, your lover profile. Like, please be honest with yourself when you interface with the opposite sex or just your partner in general. Please don't. What Heath is talking about is very real. This thing that we chase, this image that we're chasing, it is very real. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of us would admit to that. In your process of the chase, while you are truthing with yourself, please keep it a buck. If you know you're not Lexington Steele, like, don't come in trying to be that. You know what I mean? Like, if you know you don't have the hog, as you call it, if you know that's not your ministry, please don't come in trying to be a quarterback when you're a receiver. Please don't.
Exactly.
Please don't do it. Please don't. It's just save yourself the embarrassment, save yourself the headache, save yourself all of the negative feelings that can come with someone else telling you. Because you know what they say, self-praise is no recommendation. So you can walk around telling yourself you got the hog if you want to, but you drop trowel in front of a woman who ain't.
Yeah, she's like,
who no remorse about being honest and telling you the truth. You don't want that, brother. You don't want it.
Listen, and understand this. You may not get into those elite circles that you aspire to or secretly desire or covet, but if you pay attention to the women that are around you and the women that we're mentioning who have a lot to offer and want to grow with you, you'll do just fine. You'll do just fine. You'll do just fine in the dating world. You'll do just fine with identifying a woman or relationship that's ideal for you. You just won't be in that elite circle. I mean, yeah, there's a Muggsy Bogues in the NBA, but most NBA guys are at least minimum 6 feet.
Legit. You
So
gotta be
are you?
special to be Muggsy.
Yeah. I mean, Muggsy was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really going to be Muggsy? Probably not. I mean, they say even for guys playing baseball, you have liking your chance of getting into the major leagues to be the one person sitting in the right seat in Yankee Stadium when it's full.
Yeah.
1 out of 55,000.
Because there's really no look at becoming a professional baseball, but you got to have skill to play
Yes.
baseball.
Yeah.
You could
Absolutely.
be athletic and play basketball, football, but you got to have some skill to
Yes.
hit a ball.
Absolutely. And I just think that's where it's at. And I'll say this as we begin to wrap up. I think the first word that I think about when I think of black male sexuality and black male bodies is weapon.
Yeah, because I was going to say corrupted, but I like weapon.
Weapon.
Yeah.
You're a weapon for sex, and coitus, and hooking up, and you're a weapon for violence. Our bodies are weaponized.
Against ourselves and others.
Yes, against ourselves and others. Against ourselves and others.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Weapons.
Yep.
So this idea that I have to become a weapon, you watch these classic 1980s military films, Rambo, and he becomes a weapon. Weapon. You literally have to become a weapon to penetrate and infiltrate women's bodies, and a weapon to penetrate and infiltrate society, because that's what they're ultimately playing on to sell you black male sexuality. The interloper, the fiend, the dastardly ghoul who
the beast
sneaks in at the night, covets and takes and devours what's precious to you, and then is off, defiles what's pure and sacrosanct, bringing the mundane into sacred spaces, and then disappears and get into the night, only to ravage the village
the next night,
once again.
Yeah.
That is what it means. You are a weapon. And I see it, like you said, even among other black males, how they treat other black males. My own biases, my own failures, my own flaws around black male bodies, because we're all drinking from the same poisoned well. So this is not just a white people thing. This is an American thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, when we deal with, as some of the feminists would say, patriarchy doesn't just impact women, it impacts men too. There are ideas and actions supporting these ideas, propping up these ideas, or these ideas propping up these actions that is corruptible to everybody who's participating in them.
And there isn't everyone participating in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone is participating in it.
Yeah.
And subsequently is being dehumanized by it. And you have people from the in groups and out groups, whether you're talking race or gender, who are supporting it. Because in the manosphere, I can name several women who are supporting manosphere content. I know some men who are supporting digital feminism content or feminism content, if that's really or even some people say, now they're saying this femosphere content, where it's very anti-man or anti-togetherness, however you want to phrase it. I'm just saying, look at the faces, look at the races. There is more commingling than what we like to argue, because it's easy to make it clean and cut for the sake of creating an enemy narrative. But if you're making a narrative from more of a public health perspective, where you're saying we have a problem with an idea that is spreading like a virus, what's really going on, that analysis is going to show you it doesn't break down that easily, and that we need better solutions to get to better outcomes. And sometimes to get to better solutions, you have to get to questions that get to better questions that get to even better questions that eventually you arrive at those solutions. And we need to start having these conversations and not just living in what Jay likes to say, call out culture, where we just rely on labeling each other, categorizing each other, and relegating somebody to a particular box, and then keeping them there no matter what. We got to be dynamic in how we're analyzing this problem, because I'm speaking from personal experience about the weapon. When it comes to black male sexuality and black male bodies, about being perceived as a weapon. That's part of the mystique of the black male body, and part of the mystique they're selling to you with this content that even we as black males are buying into, because you say, fuck it, if I ain't going to win over here, I might as well win over there. I can do this.
Yeah. Long as Becky gonna give me the top that I want, or give it up easily, I don't have to work hard for it over here. Yeah, I'll swing over there.
And some of us who ain't 6 feet, I mean, well, I ain't gonna be an A actor, just like they have in Hollywood. There's A actors and there's B actors. I'll be a B actor. I'll be, in the Traumaville movies, and I can, live decently, still buy a house in Hollywood, do a couple films, and I'm producing, so you may never see me in Men in Black 4, but in Traumaville, that's a little franchise that's netting me 400, 500 grand a year, plus back end royalties. I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
And some guys will settle for the whether it's I didn't make it into porn world, but I mimicked enough of that image that I'm making in the real world. I'm the bald-headed black guy. I'm the black guy with the dreads with the nice body who's at work. Everybody wants to get to know me. And I didn't slept with 2 or 3 women at the job and, 5 women in my homegirl social network. And I'm doing all right.
Yeah. That's aspirational for some.
Yo, and it's addictive. Let's keep it real. It's addictive.
Yeah. Wow. Aspirational and addictive.
It's addictive. It's addictive.
And it's being easily promoted every day as an option.
About it.
Every day.
If you have the genetics for it and you can get to an 8-pack and you work out and you've been working on your edging game and you can last and you know how to eat box and all that, yo, son, it's all right.
That's optional because sometimes it's like, yo, just come in and put the hammer down. That's all I need you for.
Yeah.
I already got low expectations for your oral game because most of y'all don't know how to do it. So just come in here, drop trial, do what I need you to do.
And keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Just like Nia Long said, come over, do what you got to do. And
yeah, bounce.
That's where she's at with it.
But there's some women who will pay you to stick around. Well, yo, okay, okay, I can write a check or two. What do you need? And now you're living like that. Would your man say begging different women to sleep on their, sleep on their couch?
Man.
The weapon. And it's a shameful notion and connection I have in my mind about black male sexuality and the black male body. But that's the first word that comes to my mind.
Weapon. That's a good one. We're going to have to continue this conversation.
For sure. Well, this is, like I said, the beginning of a whole larger conversation we'll eventually launch about the boy inside the man, because Jay and I do want to talk about largely men's emotions, traumas, and their triumphs.
Yeah.
And their flaws, all put into one conversation, not just putting it into a box of, well, this is the issue with men. And we've done that conversation, and we're going to continue to have that conversation, but we want to provide a larger spectrum of the black male or larger male experience when it comes to dating, relationships, and love, because it does get sophisticated, it does get complex, and
there's so
it
much
does get confusing.
Nuance and breadth
it does get
to all of that. Like you said, there's nuance to failures, there's nuance to successes, like you said, there's all of that. There's nuance and breadth to who we are as individuals, our thoughts, like you said, our emotions, our traumas, all of it, how we perceive them and see them, and others. Like, yeah. I'm excited to do that. I hope, our listener base is too.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks, not next week, but we'll definitely queue it up and let you guys know what we'll be doing ahead of time. And again, check us out at Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Save the Date Now. Until next episode, I'm Heath.
I'm Jamie, y'all.
Take care.
Peace.